Hello and welcome to Knitting on the Float. My name is Tracy and I'm your host. I am coming to you from a gray but fairly temperate day in the Vancouver area. It is about 10 degrees Celsius, so not too cold, not too hot, just that perfect balance for December 19th. We are 2 days away from the winter solstice. I cannot believe how quickly December has flown by. Oftentimes, or the past few years, I have done Vlogmas. This year, I knew I did not have the stamina to do it, but today I am finally able to share something very, very exciting with you. So I definitely needed to sit down and podcast today. Today, Danny, who is Little Bobbins, her Christmas Eve cast-on pattern has finally been released, and I'm going to share that with you in a little bit. But before I do, let me tell you where you can find me. I am Tracy RR on Ravelry, and I am at Knitting on the Float on Instagram. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. This is a podcast where I usually talk about knitting, but today I'm going to be featuring some sewing, which for me is very, very exciting. So welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you so much for your patience with me. Now that I have returned to school, things kind of are a little bit willy-nilly, where previously, we had our lovely weekly visits. Now it is when I have a moment, when I've got something exciting to share, I've got to figure out how the podcast goes moving forward, because I really do enjoy podcasting, but getting things done has been a little bit challenging. So welcome back. I know it's been a while, but I know you know the drill. You have your requisite cup of whatever cheer it is you are drinking. You have your project of choice. You've got your comfy spot wherever you're sitting. Scout is up on the couch with us today, so give her a scratch behind the ears. And you are ready to sit and talk about crafting. But before we do that, it is, of course, time for tea time, or whatever beverage time it is for you. And I am drinking out of one of my lovely mugs from Julia Smith Ceramics. This is my Christmas mug. And since we are quickly approaching Christmas, I thought I need to bring this one out. And today I am drinking Toast and Jam tea from... it's going to leave me because that's what it does. Yorkshire, it's a Yorkshire blend, Toast and Jam tea. It's in a pink box. I may have stocked up recently from the British store in Vancouver, but yes, drinking out of my lovely doggy mug, Christmas dog, but you can't see it there. Anyway, let us cheer to, because we are coming up on a brand new year. I'm gonna have to talk about my word of the year, and I'll do that in bits and bobs. I hope I remember. Anyway, let us cheer to a wonderful holiday season if you celebrate, and a calm and peaceful new year. Cheers to that. Since we last visited, and that was when I shared all of the KnitVent projects, I have been working on just a few things. I've got 2 knitting projects on the go, or right now I just have 1 knitting project that I'm working on, and the other one I'm going to share with you is now a finished object. And not to say that there aren't a bunch of whips happening as well, but they're just not getting the attention. And I have been doing some sewing, so I am excited to share what I've been up to. I do have some brown paper packages. I also have a lovely package from So Sweet Violet that I've been holding on to for a while. That's going to be my Christmas gift, so I can't share that one during brown paper packages. But let us start off with my sewing. What have I been up to? Well, a friend and I last week went across the border to Joann's, and I wanted to get some flannel. I wanted to make some pajamas. So I purchased the Fran pajamas, which is a pattern by Closet Core, or is it Core Closet? I think it's Closet Core. And I'll pop up a little photograph of what the Fran pajamas look like. I only wanted to make the bottoms, and I bought the PDF version. Now, can you hear Scout? She's having a little sleep. I bought the PDF version, but I did not want to print up 40 pages and tape them all together and line them up. So I actually went to our local Staples, which is like the office store, and I had them print up just pages 3 and 4 of the copy shop page. And I was able to then cut that up on the island behind me and figure out what sizes I needed. And I'm making a pair right now for Isaac, and I wanted to see how the sizing was. So I did a test pair, and I used this fun mouse fabric, which I picked up at Joann's, and I made these Fran pajamas. So I've put in, where is it? An elastic waist. I've gone really loose elastic and a drawstring. It has pockets on both of the sides, as well as a pocket in the back. Now, I made these really wanting to make sure that they would fit Isaac, and they do. And the length is perfect on him, but I think I'm gonna keep these ones because they are cozy flannel, and oh, look at those cute little mice. They're adorable. So I just need to hem it up a little bit more for myself because I am a lot shorter than Isaac. Anyway, these are the Fran pajamas in my flannel mouse, and oh, that was fun. They were fun to sew up. However, I sat at the sewing machine a little bit too long, so I was a little bit sore. Switched out my chairs, and now it's a lot better. Yesterday, I had the counter all cleared off, and I laid out, I had pre-washed my fabric, and I laid this fabric out, put the fabric on the table, got the pattern pieces, and I am making these Fran pajamas for Isaac. Now, I know it's a women's pattern, but they're kind of based on men's sleepwear, and it will do. Anyway, this is this wonderful Peanuts fabric that I picked up at Joann's the other day. These are far from done. I still have to add the waistband, but can I share with you this amazing pocket detail? Can you even see the pocket? If you can't, that's okay, because I have to say I did a pretty good job matching the pocket onto the fabrics. Now, Isaac decided that he wanted me to use red thread, so I have used red thread as I have been sewing these up. And so if you look very, very carefully at this pocket detail, it is right here, and yes, it lines up fairly well with the pattern underneath, so I was pretty proud of that. Anyway, I just need to put the waistband on and then put the elastic in, make a drawstring, and then I will need to hem these. And these are just made, well, the other ones were made of flannel. This is made out of a quilting cotton, a light cotton, and I love them. Isaac tried them on without the waistband last night. They look really cute on him, and he said, but they're too long. I said, yeah, but I have to hem them. So they won't be too long for now. Anyway, these are the wonderful Peanuts pajamas that I'm making from the Fran pattern, and I'm hoping that I probably should be able to finish these tonight, depending on editing and the other project that I am working on as well. But they are fun. I have some other fabrics that I'm going to share with you in brown paper packages that I picked up while I was across the border, but oh, the Peanuts one is just, and did I mention that pocket? How perfect that pocket is. Okay, let's get to the knitting. This is a project I have been working on since the end of June, and it is a Bits and Bobs blanket, and I was hoping to have it ready for Christmas because my lovely in-laws are coming to spend Christmas with us in the Vancouver area, and I wanted to have this blanket done. It is not quite done, but you know what? I will work on it while they are here when I can, and if I have to pop it in the mail to them afterwards, I will, but I am loving how it is turning out so far. I am using a mixture of sparkly hedgerow yarns, and so these are the next two colors that are going to be going in. This one will go in as my fourth skein, being held double, and this one will go in as the fifth and final skein, being held double. And I am using my 2019 Nora George Yarns minis from the 2019 Advent kit, and I am slowly getting down there. I have wound up color number 14, and I'm working currently on 13. So these are still in their bags, and I'm really enjoying every time grabbing a new one, winding it up, and seeing what color will be added in next. The Bits and Bobs blanket is a pattern by Kay Jones, who is one of the Bakery Bears, and remember I said I wound 14 up? This is 14 right there. Isn't that a beautiful, fun colorway? And it's got sort of pinks and purples, and I'm really looking forward to putting this one into the blanket. But before I do, I have to get through color 13. So color 13 is being held double with this skein here. I believe this is Sleigh Bells. Now, the first skein I used was this one here, and this one is Little Princess, and it's on gold stellina. The second one I used, I believe, was a Christmas sparkle one of a kind. This one is Sleigh Bells, and then this one here is Sweet Pea. And then I will go back for the fifth one to the same as I used in the first, Little Princess. So this is bookending both ends, and Sleigh Bells is being put in right now. Hello, focus, there we go. It's been a while since I podcast and had to focus the camera. This is colorway 13 right now from the 2019 Advent, and as I mentioned, I am just holding my yarns double and knitting away on the Bits and Bobs blanket, which is a fisherman's rib blanket. And I am not sewing my ends in quite yet. I probably will regret that, although sometimes it's nice just on a quiet evening to secure the ends. I haven't had that quiet evening yet. Anyway, this is the Bits and Bobs knit with hedgerow yarn sparkle, held double with the 2019 Advent from Nora George, and I just love how this is looking. Now, I have put a few more extra stitches in the width, so it will be a nice cozy, two people can cuddle under it. It'll be more like a lap blanket rather than a full length, but it will be absolutely lovely. And I love my Bits and Bobs blanket, which is just over on one of the red chairs. So if you're sitting on that red chair, cuddle up under it, because it is just such a lovely blanket. It's got that beautiful stretch to it. It is so snuggly and warm. I love my first one. This one is fantastic, and I also have a whip, and that was one that I cast on my anniversary this past year, and I'm using leftovers along with Hedgerow Yarns sock blanks with sparkle in it, and that one's knitting up well too. But priority is this one here, because it is going to be a Christmas gift for my lovely sister-in-law and brother-in-law. But yes, I am far from done. I'm on color 13 now, so I'm a little more than halfway, and they will be here for about 10 days. They're coming tomorrow, so I'll work on it here, there, everywhere. I'm not going to stress out if it's not done. They may not have enough room in their luggage to go home with it anyway, so it might be better just to pop it in a box and send it to them once it is all done. And my plan is, once I'm finished, to do an I-cord edging all the way around. And I'm not sure which color I will use. We'll see how much sparkle I have left of this little princess. I may just use this and hold it double if I've got enough. If I don't, I'm sure I can find something wonderful in the stash to do some edging, but I definitely want to put a little bit of sparkle around it. I did have, and I think I've put it upstairs, I do have a lovely pink that I used in my, one of the shawls from Knit Vet this year, Turkish Delight, that I used in my Turkish Delight shawl. I have enough of that I could probably do a lovely pink border. I will ask my sister-in-law when she's here what she thinks, and we might go from there. Anyway, that is living in, and has been living in, this gorgeous Christmas bag from Birdleg Bags. I love this bag. It is now starting to get a little bit too snug in here though, so I'm hoping that this project won't be on the needles for much longer, because all of these things put into this bag, which is a large bag, are getting a bit squished. The final project that I have worked on since we visited last is living in my lovely Little Bobbins Vintage Fairy Lights bag, and oh, I love pulling this one out every year. It's got a little bit of gold sparkle in the linen, and then all of the lovely little fairy lights on the back. There's the Little Bobbins logo and a little light bulb with a little twinkle in there. There's also a twinkle on this side. And inside this lovely bag is some gorgeous yarn from Beehive Yarns, and this is called Celebrate. And it was a sock set, so this beautiful turquoise with this pink was the sock set. I'm kind of kicking myself for not getting the sparkly version. I debated it, but I hadn't seen the pattern quite when I ordered it. So if I had, I definitely would have gotten the sparkly one. But I have to say, this colorway, from the moment I saw it back in the summer, I fell in love with it. And any excuse to get it, I knew that I would be test knitting Danny, who is Little Bobbins, her Christmas pattern, the Christmas Eve cast on pattern. So I knew I'd be doing it. I just didn't know whether I would do it in regular or sparkle. Obviously, I sort of went with the more versatile regular Audrey base. And oh, look at those. So this year's sock pattern from Danielle George, who is Little Bobbins, is called Violet's Angel Costume, and Violet's Angel Costume socks. And here they are. Now, there is a beautiful overlay right here with the angel's wings costume right here. There's a little angel wing, a little lacy detail, and then it goes over some ribbing. And Danny in the pattern has explained very well on how to do this little section here, and you do it all as one piece. And then after the ribbing comes this lovely little starry design. Did I mention I wish I had done it in sparkle? They're still beautiful. And then we have a partridge, Eye of Partridge heel flap, not the heel. The heel itself, the heel turn, is a square heel. And then I always love a gusset, because a gusset makes socks fit so much better. We then go into the foot pattern here, which is the same as the leg, but it's just a nice little texture there. And then we have a barn toe right here. And I decided to use this gorgeous pink and do a colored toe rather than staying with the main color. So in Dani's pattern, a couple differences. First difference is she has just gone with the toe the same color as the mane. And the second difference is I have elongated my leg. So when you're working with gorgeous yarn like this, you want to use as much of it as possible. So Dani's socks are a little bit shorter than mine, but I really wanted that length. I like a little bit of length in my socks. Anyway, these are the beautiful Violet's Angel Costume socks. And if you are doing a Christmas Eve cast on along with so many knitters or crocheters around the world, I hope that you choose a pattern you're going to love, and that if you choose this one, that you love it. Me, I have decided, and I've decided this a while back, I'm going to cast on another trifle wrap, and I'm going to use some beehive yarns. I'm going to use the Wednesday Halloween kit that I bought. Now there are only 13 colors in the trifle wrap. My trifle wrap, which I used 20, which was my test knit for Knit Vent, is really quite long, so I think 13 will be fine. I'm going to keep it as is because in the trifle wrap, each section uses pretty much most of a 20 gram skein. So I don't think I've got room for expanding it out a little bit. I'd love to make it a little bit wider, although it is very, very wide. Actually, you know what? Let me just grab my trifle wrap so then I can show it again because it is beautiful and I've been enjoying wearing it so much. This is my trifle wrap that I did as my test knit for Helen Stewart, who is Curious Handmade. And as I mentioned, I used 20 minis, and let me stand up. I have a lot still to spare on both sides. Let me, kind of hard when you've got a couch in the way, but basically it's nice and wide, it's nice and warm because it's got the mohair, and I think if I did 13, it would be okay. So my plan for my Christmas Eve cast on is to knit another trifle wrap because I absolutely love that one, but it's going to be a lot moodier using the Halloween box from Beehive Yarns in the Wednesday and or the Wednesday box yarn theme, and I'm going to hold it with some beautiful hedgerow. I think it's a Surrey silk with yak and merino. I think that's the blend, but it's sort of almost like a nice browny color, so I think that will add to the moodiness. So that is going to be my Christmas Eve cast on, and I've got my box ready to go. I don't even think I've opened my colorways yet. I am currently opening my beautiful Beehive Yarns Advent, which this is the patisserie. I know I should probably put this in brown paper packages, but these are my favorite things too. This is number 11. Spoiler if you've probably seen it anyway. The colors in the patisserie Advent are amazing. I mean, look at this. Gorgeous purple. Today's was lovely. Yesterday's was like vanilla. And I'm so glad that I caved at the last minute. I'm not sure. I really love the trifle wrap, and I love the fact that the trifle wrap uses so much of a mini. I am debating whether I knit another. I've got all the trifle wraps, kind of like my bits and bobs. I love it. The patisserie Advent kit would look amazing in a trifle wrap, but I think I'm going to hold on to my colors until next autumn, when I will likely test knit Knitvent 2024. I know, can you believe it? I'll see that pattern and then I'll make that decision. So I may hold on to it, but I may be weak because I really do love the trifle wrap. I don't know that I want that 24 length because although it is nice to have a really nice big wrap around. And with the one I'm going to cast on Christmas Eve, it's only got the 13, unless I pull in minis from my 2021 Halloween box from Beehive Yarns. Waffle, waffle, waffle. Anyway, I have some beautiful socks to put on Christmas Eve, and I will have a fun cast on, and whatever you are casting on, I hope that you love it. Now, we're going to move on to some of the things that I have purchased in the last little bit. The last time we visited, I was waiting for this lovely brown paper package to arrive. This is my Advent kit that I was just talking about, but it is there. I do have the full skein. I'm going to save that for Christmas. And if you've been watching other people's Vlogmases and they have the Beehive Yarns, oh, they're so, so beautiful. And Beth of Beehive Yarns has been posting all of the colorways each day and then doing a little bit of a roundup and putting them all together, and they look so beautiful. So that was something that came in the mail. But last week I went across the border and I did a little shopping. So you saw some of the fabric that I purchased right here, and oh, I had a hard time. I've never been to Joann's before, and there was a lot of fabric to choose from. They had a sale on the linen, on the flannel, and I may have bought, I had my cart literally full, and then I took some things out. So I didn't go completely hog wild, but I was very close to. Anyway, so I did buy this lovely flannel, and then this. And while I was at the cutting station, somebody came up and purchased this fun Christmas light pattern. So I have purchased this as well, and I would like to make another pair of cotton pajamas with that. I'd like to make it for Nathaniel, but he is small, much smaller than Isaac and me, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. Whether I trace the smallest size from the Fran pattern, I'm not sure. Anyway, and he's taller than me, but he's, you know, he's still only 14. But I thought that was fun. And then, oh, I saw this cotton fabric and I could not resist. These are going to be pajama bottoms for me, but for summer because they are a cotton weight. But look at this fun Disney Alice in Wonderland fabric. And let me see if I can hold it a little bit better. It's got the Red Queen and Alice, and then of course you've got the March Hare and the Cheshire Cat. I'm sure that the White Rabbit is in here somewhere, but he's a white rabbit. He's hiding. I can't find him. I'm sure he's there somewhere. Anyway, the cards, all the fun things in this fabric. Isaac saw, oh, here is the White Rabbit there, hiding as usual. Anyway, he's late, he's late. These will be wonderful pajamas for me in that Fran pattern, and I'm loving how Isaac's have sewn up, so I know that those ones in the black will be really great. I've got to pre-wash my fabric. But I did go down because I wanted to get flannel. You've seen the mouse fabric. I also purchased this gorgeous pink floral fabric. I was debating between a couple of pinks and I ended up going with the floral instead. And I saw this one. Now, this is definitely not Christmas themed, but as soon as I saw it, I loved it. And I thought I have to get that and make myself a pair of flannel pajamas. It may not be for Christmas, but I just thought these ghosty pajamas, and this is so soft. The flannel is going to be, the lint in the dryer is going to be crazy from this flannel, but oh, I just thought it'd be really fun as a pair of pajamas. And then the final one, I had looked online before we went. I saw this fabric and I went with the intention of getting this fabric, and I absolutely love it. These are going to be adorable, adorable flannel pajamas, all for me. My favorite pair, unfortunately, which I mended last year, are pretty much on the way out. So I need to replace those, and I needed some more flannel pajamas. So I now have the test pair with the mice. I will be making foxes, pink ones, fun ghost ones, and then I'll make some cotton ones as well for the spring and summer, for when it starts getting a little bit warmer. Anyway, that was what I got up to at Joann's last week. Plus, I have my lovely brown paper package here that arrived since the last time we visited. So I have been trying to cut down on my packages. I do have one more package I mentioned earlier. I believe I mentioned it earlier, from So Sweet Violet, and it has a wonderful project bag. I think I'm going to open that up on Christmas Eve, and there is a lovely project bag in there, and that is what I want to put my Christmas Eve cast on in. Plus there's some other lovely little goodies there from the lovely Jules and Bryony of So Sweet Violet. Anyway, that is what I have for brown paper packages, and as usual, it was a lot, but it just means I've got to sew and knit and do all the crafts when I have time. It's now time for Bits and Bobs, and this is my segment where I talk about anything and everything not necessarily knitting related. And I have now successfully completed my first semester in the musical theater program that I put audition videos together for and had an interview for and got into late last summer. It has been a very busy fall, but I have been loving it. It has meant that the crafting and the podcast have taken a hit, but I guess I'm being creative in a little bit of a different way. It's interesting, when I was working, I really, on my time off, I needed that crafting. I needed my knitting time or sewing time, whatever craft I was working on. I just felt that I really needed that. In the past couple of years since we moved here, I've been enjoying knitting, but I haven't felt the same need for the stress relief that I get from crafting. And this past semester, like whenever I had a moment that I wasn't having to be in class or do homework, I just wanted to knit. So that desire to craft was still very much there. And I will tell you, if you were to look around the house right now, you would not see any Christmas decorations up. And it's not that I don't have them, they certainly are there. They're still in the closet, and I think I might just pull out the Charlie Brown Christmas tree and a couple of the stockings and maybe a couple of snowmen. It's going to be like last year I thought I was doing an austerity program Christmas. This year is going to be like the minimalist Christmas decorations, because I'm the one who has to put it away, and I start back up to school on January 3rd. So I want the minimum amount to take out and the minimum amount to put away. Plus right now my walk-in closet is a disaster. And if you followed along with Vlogmas last year, you will know that my Christmas decorations are in the closet under the stairs, which you get to through my walk-in closet. And I had to get something out of there yesterday and just about killed myself doing it. I'm not actually kidding on that one. I took the door off, moved the door, hit a motorcycle helmet that was on a rack. It fell down, almost hit me in the head. Instead, it hit me here and I caught it. But it's a death trap in my closet right now. And the last thing I really want to do is go in there, but I need to, because I do need to put just a few Christmas pieces out. But otherwise, I'm not doing lights outside or just Charlie Brown Christmas tree. A few of my fun little snowmen. Stockings, of course, have to be hung by, not the chimney, they might catch on fire, but the on the stairwell. I think we'll put them there. But otherwise, yes, it's going to be a very minimal thing, because I could spend that creative energy decorating my house, or I could spend that creative energy finishing off pajamas, cutting out new fabrics, working on bits and bobs. And I would much rather spend that creative energy working on creating something rather than just decorating and then having to put it away in a couple weeks. So yeah, I know, bah humbug. Tracy is a bah humbug at this point, but I just want to create all the things. I want to make all the things while I have the time off. And it's a very short amount of time off. We go back, as I mentioned, on the 3rd. So as soon as New Year's hits, out the door I go for semester 2. And I will say I did very well in semester 1. I was really, really proud of myself on how I did in all my courses. And for people who have been reaching out saying, hope everything's going well, thank you. And yeah, this has been a definite crazy adventure, but I am absolutely loving it. So thank you for your well wishes on the program. And there were times I'd come home and I'd be thinking, why am I doing this? Am I going to continue? I am definitely going to continue. I love it. It's a lot of work. I'm still trying to figure out all the alignment issues today. Somebody told me how good they thought my posture was. Still very much trying to learn how to dance, but I'm slowly getting stronger and better. Everyone else seems to be doing well. We are all super busy. Nathaniel's currently at school. Isaac's taking a little bit of a break from school like I am. Greg is working away. Scout is having a nice sleep. She's moved from the couch down to the floor. And we are having company come, so I'm so glad that we had a chance to sit down and share the projects today, share the brown paper packages, and give you a little bit of a life update. I think, though, for now, that is all I have for bits and bobs that I'm going to share. So let's move on to saying goodbye. Thank you so much for joining me today on Knitting on the Float. I hope that you have had a wonderful month since we visited last, and that you have a healthy and happy season as we move forward, because we are getting into that solstice. So winter solstice in the northern hemisphere and summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. So wishing you a wonderful new season and all the best in 2024. I am not sure when we will visit again. I think that you will probably not see the bits and bobs before I send it off, although there is always a possibility depending when I podcast next. And I can't make any promises now, but I do look forward to visiting with you and sharing what I've gotten up to in the next little while when I can. So wishing you a wonderful 2024. Have fun if you do a Christmas Eve cast on, whether you knit, crochet, maybe you are doing a Christmas Eve sewing project. I don't know, whatever it is that you're doing, I hope that you enjoy it. And I look forward to seeing you sometime in 2024. And I just remembered something, so that's going to go in the very end. My word of the year. I have to share my word of the year, and I'll do that in a few minutes. But first we'll do the little song and dance, and after I say bye-bye. Bye. I am so glad I remembered that I wanted to share my word of the year with you. And the word of the year has become a tradition that I have been doing for several years after first hearing Helen Stewart, who is Curious Handmade, talking about it on her audio podcast. And instead of choosing a resolution, which of course we know resolutions don't tend to last all that long. For me, they would usually be done by January 2nd. So I find choosing a word of the year and having that as my sort of mantra to be very, very helpful. And some years my word of the year has been really, really spot on. This year's was pretty good. So my 2023 word of the year was intentional. And I did lots of budgeting until the end of the year when I bought a beautiful Advent and went fabric shopping. But for the most part, intentional was a fabulous word, and I was able to remember it through the year. There was one year I chose one, I couldn't even remember what my word was. The 2022 year word, I can't remember the exact word, but it was basically being gentle with myself, and that was a good word. This year, I want to push myself out of my comfort zone. And I've been wrestling with a few words. So I like the word audacity, but I find that it's got a bit of a negative connotation. So I don't know if that's the word I'm going to choose. Boldness, something like that. Right now I'm leaning towards fearless, and I want to use this, especially going into my second semester in the musical theater program, where I want to be a little less afraid, a little less tentative. I want to put myself right out there. So I'm still trying to figure out what that word is, and it may just be fearless. Going forward in a fearless way. I want it to be positive, but I also want it to be really bold, audacious. There's a few other words there that I'm trying to think of, but I want to put myself out there and really take risks. So if you can think of a better word than fearless that is risk, bold, audacity or audacious, I would love to hear them. Anyway, that is going to be my 2024 sort of feeling word. I haven't quite narrowed it down, but hopefully soon I will. Wishing you all the best as you go forward in 2024, and whether you choose a word or not, I just hope it is a wonderful year for you.